Good evening all and welcome to another video on All Hail the Ale. It's Sunday night, which means it's trad beer night, and the beers we're going for tonight are part of the Blindfold Taste Test Challenge, as we often do on the channel. It's these two. It's Peroni and the Lidl rip-off, the Birra Italiana. Both of them weighing at 5% ABV. They're both lagers, and before we start on the true video, we're going to talk a little bit about the beers. And it says on the back for Peroni that it's brewed and bottled in Italy, funnily enough, by Birra Peroni. That's all it tells you really, other than that it's got water, barley malt, Italian maize and hops inside the beer. And the Birra Italiana also says it contains EU barley malt, maize and hops. It also weighs in at 5% ABV, and yeah, that is pretty much all it tells you. Nothing more than that. So the premise of the challenge is I'm blindfolded, and my able-bodied assistant will provide some beer into each glass. I will blindfold taste test them, sniff test them, all the usual bits and pieces, and I will see which one wins. There's no sort of review scoring as much. It's just still the same 5 pillars of judgment: the looks, the aroma, the body, the taste, and the finish. Whichever one I prefer gets a point. Whoever gets the most points wins the prizes. So there we go. So I shall make sure I am blindfolded with my usual scarf from the best rugby team in the world, and yeah, we shall proceed. Make sure I can't see anything. Right, my assistant, can you hold up some fingers or something? Are you doing something that I meant to see?
Yes.
I'm gonna guess Mr. Blobby in a bright green mankini.
No.
No,
It's a
good.
2p coin.
I can see nothing. Cool. So my able-bodied assistant will pick a beer, pick a glass, and show them to the camera, as always.
So, we're using this glass for this beer.
Let's pass me the glass. Okay. We've got the Stella glass tonight for the first beer. So pour about half the glass. Lovely. That one. So the other beer is going in my vocation glass. In the glass. Same deal, about halfway.
Spilt some of this one on my sock.
At least it'll make your feet smell better. Maybe. Who knows? Okay. So, the first test will be the sniff test. We'll start with the first beer. Starting. Smells light. Slightly hoppy. A little bit citrusy. Whereas the other beer a little bit more acidic. It's really difficult to call the difference between the two. Right. Have you got the scoreboard of joy?
Yes.
You've got the scoreboard. Have you got the chalk of joy?
Yes.
Right. The first point is to go to this beer.
The points has been awarded.
Lovely. So the next test is the body test. So starting with this one. Light, carbonated, quite well. It's a nice kind of soft carbonation. Whereas this one, nigh on identical. Very subtle difference between the two, but it's not enough to call. So, give them both a point on the body test.
Points have been awarded.
Lovely. So the most important test of all, the flavour test. So we're going to start with this one. It's light. It's clean. It's fresh. It's more malty than it is hoppy. Whereas this one, tastes cheaper, tastes slightly artificial. And by artificial, I mean kind of plasticky, almost chemically. Yeah, versus this one, which is a little bit more, like I say, a little bit more malty, but oddly tastes a bit more authentic, shall we say. So I'll give the point to the first beer.
Okay.
And the finish, we're going to start with the loser, which is the artificial tasting one. You've got a subtle bitterness and not a lot else. It is clean, it's light, but yeah, there's very little that I like about the finish on it. Whereas this one, is also light. It's also clean. It is refreshing, but there is just more flavour on this one. So the point goes to this one.
The points have been awarded.
Lovely. So now we get to the bit where I actually blind myself so we can have a look at the visuals. So I need you to top off each beer one at a time. Start with that one, the first beer. So I've got more to look at. Ooh, easy. And the second one. Lovely. Beers down.
Mm-hmm.
Grand. Okay, so
Give me one of the glasses so you can
right.
chop it.
The blinding commences now. Oh, it is like interrogation. So, visuals. The one bit I can't do when I'm blindfolded. Both beers quite similar. Both well carbonated. This is... One is ever so slightly darker in colour than the other, but they both look like reasonable lagers. And if I was to give a point to one or the other, I'm going to go for the one that just instills a bit more in me. And for that, I think I want a little bit more colour. So the point goes to the first beer. So, before we reveal which one is the winner, we shall go to the actual aid memoir from Untapped, which says that one of these beers has had a stonking 406,000 check-ins. I think you can guess which one it is. And the other has only had 513 individual check-ins. Peroni has had 406,000 check-ins, average of 3.16, slightly higher than the Lidl rip-off at 3.06. So, I think on taste alone, I know which one is which. I think this one is the Peroni. May I have the scoreboard of joy? The right way up. It's not. It's not. Interesting. The winner was the rip-off. There we go. There we go. So the cheaper beer, the slightly more real tasting beer.
I think I got it right.
I hope he's got it right. We'll find out in editing. First beer tastes better. And that's what matters, ladies and gents, boys and girls.
And then you can have a swig out the bottle to make sure that I've got it right.
It's a good check, actually. So the first beer, this one. Versus this one. Yeah, I think he's got it right. I think. Anyway, yeah. If the facts as presented are true and the first beer was the rip-off, it's the winner. I'm not the biggest Peroni fan in the world. Wife loves it though. But the Lidl version, if this is the winner, is the cheaper option and arguably the tastier option. Might have to buy some of those in the future. But yeah, they're both basic lagers. They're both safe to drink. You know, there's not a huge amount of flavour in either, but they're both light and refreshing. And on a hot summer's day, when that's all you want, you can't really go wrong. Granted, there's a lot tastier lagers out there with more oomph, but they live in the Pilsner line really. But you can't really go too far wrong with these if all you want is a simple, refreshing lager. So we'll leave it there and say, those have been the beers. I've been me. That's been my able-bodied assistant.
Hi.
And I will see you again soon for another one. Bye for now.